massive spoiler alert, Unforgivable Truth, parts 1 and 2 dialogue, we find out who the mole is. Welcome, magic people, Zealman's Visiting World. We are going to go through Unforgivable Truth, we're going to go through the dialogue, story stuff, and we are going to go and talk about who the mole is. We will find out at the very end. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Here we do sort of like spoilery stuff, such as storyline dialogue, new features, such as the 1920s family. I would suggest that you save up your silver keys. We also do vlogs of brilliant events as well. That's pretty much it. I failed to finish my last vlog properly because there was a huge thunderstorm on the Monday. I was going to do part 4, or set task number 4, on the weekend, but never really happened. So I thought I'd do it from home, and I'll just do the bonus on Monday and show you the bonus. However, the Monday had the massive thunderstorms, and I was like, I ain't going out in that. So I recorded that from my desk, which was a very boring vlog. So, alas, earwax. For the adversary event, I didn't do it. I played Ingress instead. Kind of got bloated out on the events a little bit. So I thought, well, I'll just do the brilliant events because they're the ones that if I miss, I'll get a hole in my brilliant registry, which I don't really want. So brilliant events I'm definitely doing. But yeah, I skipped out on the adversary events, and I will do a community day if it's a page that I require, which at the moment, really, I only need the Goblet of Fire and oddities. So, hey ho. So this is an interesting month because we have the special anniversary event. Now, the anniversary event fits in between the two parts of Unforgivable Truth Part 1 because Unforgivable Truth Part 1 has a setup and Part 2 has the big reveal. So we have the anniversary event in between, which has all the recap for the story before they do the big reveal. So without further ado, I've only read the end. So I know who it is, but I don't know what the story is. So yeah, anyway, let's go. Intro, Hermione. I've just heard from Constance, considering the sorts of Foundables she and the rest of the SOS Taskforce are seeing. I'd say our first experiment was a success. We were able to combine our memories of our first year at Hogwarts to create one unified surge. Harry, do you think creating surges based upon our adventures with Ron will restore his missing memories? Hermione, yes, and I am confident our second experiment will prove it. You saw it yourself during the last surge, Harry. Every time we returned to Foundable, Ron was suddenly able to recall a related memory. That can't be a coincidence. The Calamity must be the key to restoring Ron's memories. Harry, well, we've exhausted all other options, so I sincerely hope you're right. Hermione, don't worry, Harry. If everything goes predicted, when does that ever happen, more than one question will be answered by this surge's end. Has anything ever gone right? Interesting thought. As the Unforgivable have re-kidnapped Kit Gerard and Flavius Flint, I wonder if they'll be doing their searches from those two persons' memories to try and get their memories restored, but from the other side. Interesting thought. Anywho, Mountain Troll. Ron, I know this troll. We fought it on Halloween as first years, didn't we? That night's suddenly coming back to me. Tailing Snape, rushing in to save Hermione, finally making the levitation charm work. Hermione, that's you, isn't it? Hermione, yes, that's absolutely right, Ron. Can you remember anything else? Ron, I remember that you took the blame for the whole thing, even though it was my fault you were hiding out in the toilets to begin with. And that was the first time I saw you as a friend. I can't believe I forgot. Hermione, it's all right, Ron. What's important is that we've proven your memories can be restored. Now we have. We won't stop until everyone is back. I think it should be everyone is back, not everyone is back. Brilliant Dragon Egg. Hermione, tell me the truth. Have you been feeding information to the Unforgivable, either willingly or via the Imperious Curse? Harry, is this a joke? Of course not. Though I have been feeding on your lunches. Why did I just submit that? Hold on, you put Veritaserum in my coffee, didn't you? That's how you plan to expose the Unforgivable's mole, to make everyone drink Truth Potion without their knowledge? Hermione, I'm sorry to subject you to this, Harry, but I had to be certain. I am honestly loath to use Veritaserum without proper authorization, but I didn't see any alternative. We don't know who in the Ministry we can trust, and our culprit would surely sabotage any by-the-books attempts to sleuth out their identity. We had to find this informant if you want to get the better of the unforgivable. Given our circumstances, using Veritaserum on everyone and then replacing their memories of being questions with something more innocuous is the only quick, viable option. It pains me to break the rules, but I have no choice. Actually, Hermione is the Minister of Magic, so what authorization would she need? She's kind of the top dog, right? This is a cunning plan. And not the first time Hermione's broken the rules. Chocolate frog. Ron, what is this? And why does it look so familiar? Harry, a chocolate frog, remember? You actually introduced me to them, starting me down the path of collecting all the famous witches and wizard cards too. Ron, now I remember. We were on the Hogwarts Express. You pulled a Dumbledore on your first go. The look on your face when you saw his picture move was bloody brilliant, though not nearly as good as the one you're making now. Harry, sorry, can't help it. It wasn't a fluke or coincidence. You really do remember. This calls for a celebration. What do you say we grab a real chocolate frog for old time's sake? Ron, I say, what are we waiting for? I can't remember the last time I had chocolate. Literally. Okay, the writing has got better over the years. Almost 2 years now. Professor Snape Quill. Professor Snape quarrelling with Quirrell. Hermione, Constance. What I'm about to ask is a bit awkward, so I'm just going to come out with it. Are you working with the Unforgivable? Have you been sharing classified information with them? Constance. What? No, absolutely not. Why do you ask? Is it because you suspect I'm the mole? Is it because I sometimes sneak into your office, sit in your chair and pretend I'm senior minister? Because I promise I'm not spying on you. I really admire you and want to be like you is all. You probably think I'm a fraud now, or worse, a total stalker. I'm so sorry, Hermione. I have no idea what's come over me. It's like I'm under a babbling curse. Hermione, no, Constance, I'm sorry. I did suspect you might be the mole. That's why I put Veritaserum in your tea when you weren't looking. I'm not proud of it, but I had to be certain. After all, you had access to all the leaked intelligence, and some of your comments did raise red flags. I hope you understand. There were a few red flags, that is for damn sure. Constance. Well, she's just naive, I guess. Constance, I wish I could lie and say I do, and that I'm not upset. But seeing as that's physically impossible for me now, I'll just say that I'm hurt that you think I was capable of such betrayal. I thought we were better friends than that. See? Everyone who thought it was Constance. Yeah. Yes, offended her and everything. To be fair, we all thought it was her at some point. Harry Troll Bogey's covered wand. It actually is like the Foundables actually have nothing to do with any of the storyline. Hermione, Mathilda, I was hoping I could talk to you about the incident in Cape Town. As I'm sure you've heard, when we arrived at the location of the black market auction, it was completely deserted. The numerous poachers that had been spotted there just hours prior were nowhere to be found. Someone must have warned them that we were coming. You wouldn't happen to have any idea who that might be, would you? Mathilda Gribblehawk. Not used that picture in a long time. No, but I wish I did, so I could give them a good wallop. Bloody poachers creating nothing but headache and paperwork for us at the Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. And there's nothing I hate more than paperwork, except perhaps my partner's mother. Did I just say it out loud? Please don't tell anyone. Aisha wants nothing more than for the two of us to get along. And if she found out I can't stand her mother, she'd be devastated. Ooh, same-sex couple. Hermione, don't worry, Mathilda. In just a few minutes, it'll be as if this conversation had never happened. The end dialogue. Harry, you are right, Hermione. Bits and pieces of Ron's memory really come back to him when we return related Foundables. I'm not sure how that's possible, but I'm not complaining. Hermione, my theory is that the Calamity is functioning like a pensieve. Rather than obliviating Ron, Kit Gerard and Flavius Flint's memories, I believe the Unforgivable used the Calamity to snatch and lock them away. Searches provide a channel for some of the trapped memories to escape. So this is what I was talking about before, because it's like not a normal obliviate, right? Right, yeah, because obviously the Calamity can take people's memories and stuff. You can also lock them away as well, so they can't access them. Interesting. I guess the person has to be there, and you can't do it remotely, because otherwise they could just really just do a whole load of damage and wipe Harry memories of the entire thing. Ooh, okay. Harry, so as long as we continue to use our shared memories to manipulate the Calamity, we should be able to return all of Ron's memories. Hermione, theoretically, yes. Though it will take some time before he's completely back to himself. I wish we could simply force the Unforgivable to release them, but well, haven't we been able to uncover the identity of their bowl yet? I haven't exhausted my list of possible suspects yet, so I'll still have hope this will work. But we may want to start considering our next course of action, should it not. I wonder who you haven't interviewed yet, Hermione. So, we're going to move on to part 2 immediately. Intro Hermione. I don't know why I didn't think of creating a surge together sooner. With our combined efforts, it was much easier to fend off the Unforgivable's attempt to steal control of the surge between waves. Harry, the Unforgivable must realise that we know how to use the Calamity to restore Ron's memories. Should we be worried about that? Hermione, perhaps they're more concerned that they've realised I'm using Veritaserum to attempt to expose their informant. I have heard plenty of confessions, including a few that I wish I hadn't, but no one implicated themselves so far. Harry, perhaps there is no mole in the Ministry. Oh, shut up, Harry! Perhaps there's no mole in the Ministry after all. We have plenty of circumstantial evidence, yes, but no definitive proof. You idiot! Anyway, Hermione, no. Someone close to us has definitely been leaking our plan to the Unforgivable. The only question is, I have yet to interview the culprit, or have they managed to resist the Veritaserum's effect? Well, I suppose we'll find out which is true soon enough, won't we? Yes, we will, soon as you talk to a certain person. Brilliant Philosopher's Stone. Sage Bragnum. Sage Bragnum! Thank you for the butterbeer, Hermione. Tastes a wee bit off, but I'm not so daft as to turn my nose up to a free drink on a warm summer's day. Hermione, the weather's been rather unseasonably pleasant lately, hasn't it? Sage Bragnum. Aye, but do you mind if we skip the pleasantries and get to the point of this meeting? I like to study a Philosopher's Stone Foundable before the surge is out. The Calamity may be an international statute or secrecy nightmare, but it's quite a boon for my magical artifact studies. Hermione. Unfortunately, not everyone has such scholarly intentions. The Unforgivable have made it abundantly clear that they intend to use the Calamity for their dark purposes, though we have no idea what they are. You wouldn't happen to know anything about them, would you? Sage Bragnum. Sage. Only that they're all you and Harry talk about anymore, even outside of work. It's the Unforgivable for this, the Unforgivable for that. I admire your devotion to your work, but you two need to seriously consider finding yourselves a hobby. Brilliant three-headed dog. Harry! Ron, have you been able to recall any additional memories of our first year since the second surge began? Ron, enough to question how we made it through the year in one piece. Battling a mountain troll, sneaking past a giant three-headed dog, making an enemy of Voldemort, who I'm told is one of the most dangerous dark wizards of all time. I'm gobsmacked. Harry, the fact that we were by each other's sides through most of it probably has something to do with it. Me, you and Hermione have always made a great team. Or otherwise known as Hermione, Harry and Ron. Probably is the best way around, because Hermione did most of the grunt work. Ron, yes, I was starting to remember that. Broken wing key. Hermione, my memory charm seems to be working. Other than Constance, whose memory I decided not to rewrite, no one remembers being questioned about the Unforgivable. How do I do that? Harry, no, but they have noticed you're acting oddly around them. Current theories as to why include Apologies Potion, a rotten cauldron cake, a strange case of dragonpox, and that you've finally snapped under the stress. Hermione, a rotten cauldron cake? Honestly, so much codswallops get circulated around here, you would think we were in the Quibbler. Okay. Harry, they've also noted a general willingness to share their secrets with you. If you're not careful, they'll realise what you've really been up to. Underground chamber trapdoor. Myra Curio. Well, if it isn't Hermione, word around the office is that you have a way of getting people to open up. Hermione, what are you suggesting, Myra? Myra, isn't it obvious? You're clearly a better conversationalist and listener than I gave you credit for. Want to take a quick lunch? I had a dream last night involving a giant niffler I'd love to get your thoughts on. It was a chess night. Hermione, remember this, Ron? When you sacrificed yourself to the White Queen in the chessboard chamber. I was terrified. She struck you so hard. Ron, it's nothing compared to what I'm finally remembering Harry went through in that final underground chamber. Hermione, don't be so modest. Your sacrifice was, and continues to be, one of the bravest acts I've ever seen. Ron, you might not think so high of me if you knew what my first thought after I woke up was. I recall wondering if my injury could get me out of class for the rest of the term. That sounds like me. Hermione, oh Ron, only you could manage to put your foot in it, even though most of your memories are still missing. Ooh, we have a mysterious note. The first piece. Constance, Hermione, one of our agents found this piece of a note attached to the wing of a broken winged key Foundable. Thought you would want to take a look at it. Hermione, I do, but first I want to apologise to you again. I was so frustrated with the Unforgivable always being one step ahead, and so engrossed in rooting out the mole that I started looking at you as a suspect rather than a friend. I don't regret doing what's necessary to expose the Unforgivable, but I do regret hurting you in the process. You've always devoted yourself to combating the Calamity and the Unforgivable. I shouldn't have distrusted you. Constance, I'm sorry too. I took your suspicion personally rather than in recognizing that you were just being diligent. There's one thing I don't understand. Why didn't you modify my memories like you did the others? Aren't I a liability that way? You see, this is what I thought. Hermione. No, Constance. You're an ally. One I trust and want to be on my side. I'm just sorry I didn't recognise that earlier. Fifth piece. Constance. We don't have enough pieces yet to make out the entire note. But take a look at this. It certainly looks like it says memories, doesn't it? Hermione. Yes, and this part is definitely talking about Ron. Constance. You don't think the Unforgivable might try to take Ron's recovered memories back to you? Hermione. Not if I have anything to do with it. Final piece. And then we have the end dialogue. Constance. This note is all over the place. He jumps from philosophical musings on memory and identity to haughty declarations that their mission is noble, to threats against us should we get in their way. Hermione. The author certainly fashions themselves an intellectual, don't they? But underneath the doublespeak, their brutish message is clear. Stop interfering or end up like Ron. Constance. They follow through on all their threats so far, so we can't afford to simply ignore it. But we also can't simply let them continue to endanger the world. Blast it. They love putting us in these no-win situations, don't they? Oh, blast it. Hermione. Yes, they certainly do. Almost as much as they love to rig these twisted games of theirs, so that the moment we sit down to play, we've already lost. Yeah. This time, however, we'll be different. This time, I'll be setting the rules. I mean, thank God Hermione has a brain. I mean, because Blinking Harry doesn't even think there's a mole. Constance, that might just be the single most brilliant thing I've heard in my life. Okay, so now we move on to the end dialogue. You all thought it was going nowhere. The end dialogue. Greengrass. Miss Granger, what a surprise. Can whatever you've come to discuss wait? I'm rather busy. Yeah, busy doing the calamity. Hermione. No, I'm afraid it can't. In fact, I'd say this talk is long overdue. Gareth, you're the mole who's been leaking our plans to the Unforgivable, aren't you? Greengrass. Don't be ridiculous. I'm no mole. I'm one of the Unforgivable's most respected members.
Can I talk to you for a second?
What am I saying? You put truth potion in my tea, didn't you? But how? I never took my eyes off my cup. Hermione. I assumed a guarded wizard like you wouldn't. That's why I put it in your milk instead. Now it's my turn to get some answers. But unfortunately for us, we'll have to wait until the next brilliant event before we get answers. So it's Gareth. Gareth Greengrass is the mole.
How? When? It happened in London. In London?
Which I was saying for quite some time. And to be honest, it's not like... It's always Greengrass. It's always going to be Greengrass. He was putting his nose in, he's like, his department wasn't even related. And he kept popping in. It's definitely Greengrass. So I'm assuming the next set of brilliant events are going to go somewhat like this. Because we are restoring Ron's memories. So this was obviously book 1. I'm assuming our next brilliant event will be book 2. And we're going to go through all the years of Hogwarts for the next set of brilliant events. That's my theory for that. As for Greengrass, finally have someone who actually has memories. Because finally they can actually question somebody who actually knows stuff. And they used Veritaserum once. There's no reason why they can't use it again. And keep interrogating him and stuff like that. Although it is quite dubious. So we might finally learn something. Might finally learn their intentions. I mean, it seems like we get one revelation a year. So we're going to get a little bit. And then we'll have to wait probably until this time next year to get something else juicy. But that is it. That is our revelation for 2021. So, well, maybe add the comments below what you think. Are you a Team Gareth like I was? Or are you Team Constance? Or are you Team Constance and Gareth? Yada, yada, yada. So that's it from me. You can join me on my ventures through the actual brilliant event itself, through the vlog. So if you want to see that, then you can subscribe and hit the notification bell for that sort of stuff. For any of the latest tips and tricks and stuff, taskforcetimes.news is the place to go. It has a quick reference guide which has all the tasks and all that sort of stuff. Things at your fingertips that you need for the event, and also some little tips along the way. Also, if you want to review the dialogue once the event has started, that will also be on taskforcetimes.news. Also, if you want to read dialogue in advance rather than just watching my videos, see below on Reddit. They have all the dialogue in advance, which is super useful. Taskforce Times has it when it's released, just to be polite to the person who does all the work. Data mining. I'm not going to undercut them. So until next time, brush up and spells. Keep your ones ready with it tonight.